Attention eBay shoppers and sellers, here's an important tech tip and information from RB's Toy Box. Now, we've all been looking and searching for that holy grail item. Taking a look online and going through eBay and Mercari and other places and scrolling through, and here we find it. The holy grail for all collectors. And that is the new used item that somebody found in some back office somewhere and now is going to put it up for auction or buy it now. And you can get it and you can buy it, and you get it in and you open it up and you're all excited to find out it's been practically destroyed because, like many of these products here, they come with batteries. Yes, you heard me right. A lot of the late 70s and pretty much all through the 80s and early 90s toys came with batteries installed. Now, for the most part, you know, they had the little cutout in there, like this one here. They've got a little cutout so you can try it and be able to go, "Ooh, Mommy, I want that. Can you get it for me?" And you saw it spin, or you saw it light up, or it had sounds or something, and it was really cool. But because it comes with the batteries, you know, if you bought it back in the 70s, 80s, or 90s, no big deal, right? Nah, no problem. But now you find something like this that's 15 or 20 years old, and it's got those old batteries in it. Now we've got ourselves a little issue. So today on RB's Toy Box, we're going to look at that a little bit closer, give some tips and advice on both things that you can do, and for sellers, here's some information about someone like me and others folks here on RB's Toy Box that buys your stuff, and just some suggestions of things that you can do to make your product even better for buyers like us. Now, for the newcomers here to RB's Toy Box, welcome aboard. I hope that you're enjoying our videos, but I just want to give you a little intro on the channel here, so roll it.
1, 2, 3, go. Step into the magic on my fun-filled stage. RB's Toy Box is great for kids of any age. From Star Trek to A-Team and retro toys too. Come join on my journey, making videos just for you.
Now, welcome back to RB's Toy Box. Now, if you're new to the channel, make sure you're hitting that like and subscribe down below. It really helps us out. And for those loyal people here on RB's Toy Box, thank you so much for sticking with us for this long. If you could do me a big solid here, it really helps that YouTube algorithm if you watch the video all the way to the end. If I happen to give you all the information you're looking for, hey, set your phone over on the side and let it play through for me, because we got to get those watch hours up. So I really appreciate that. But like I mentioned, you've got a lot of toys that you can buy that are going for, you know, maybe a good price or whatever, but you run across one that had the little try me now button or pushed a little for the sounds and stuff, and it doesn't work when you get it. And the reason it doesn't work is because you open that up and you see this. That's right. Look at all of that acid built up. This I recently purchased, and I'm going to do a review on this, by the way, in case some of you are looking to buy one of these. There's not a lot of them out there, but in 1991-92, they had an F-14 Tomcat. It was a remote control through Bright something. Bright something. There's a couple that are still on eBay, and some of them are like really damaged, but I got one literally new stock. It had the original tape on it. It wasn't molested or messed with or anything. I mean, it was brand new out of the box. And as you saw in those pictures just now, it was loaded down with battery acid. Now, if you can catch it early enough, and you can pull the batteries out. Now, you want to make sure that you put on rubber gloves, latex, something like that. You don't want to get that on you. If you have an apron, you want to put that on. You don't want to take any chance of getting that acid on your clothes. But I usually just take a screwdriver and pop those babies out. Then you want to use white, well, we'll get into that. You know, a little further in the video, we'll talk about what you do. But what I want to talk about is kind of the differences or the how bad it could possibly be. Now, let me give you an example. I'm going to grab a kit here and show you the inside of it so you kind of get an idea, a better visual of what it is I'm actually describing. Now, if we open up this Klingon bird of prey, you can see this is a clean battery compartment. I was fortunate to get this when it had not been damaged very much. Now, I did a lot of cleaning on this one, but when I got it, it came with the batteries, and of course pried those out and then kind of got rid of the acid. And again, I'm going to talk about that a little further in the video. But where you have this in, I'm going to call it 3 stages. Stage number 1 is it's just got the battery acid on it, similar to what you saw in the pictures a little bit earlier. Number 2 is where the acid, based upon the quality of the product in some cases, is the springs will get eaten alive. I mean, it'll just eat up, rust, whatever, just decay the springs that are in there. And then also to the other extent, to the extent where you almost have to go in there and replace that completely. That's a whole nother video in and of itself on how to go in there and replace these little metal pieces. And they're getting harder to find because, you know, Radio Shack is out of business. The third one is a little bit more significant, and I'm dealing with this on a product that I got here not too long ago, to where the battery acid corrosion had become so liquefied, which means it's not just based upon age, it had been an environment that was also very, very warm, like a garage or a storage building. Because of that, depending on where it would sit and how it's set up for that particular product, the battery acid would actually leak down inside, and as a result, it wasn't just damaging the battery box, it was damaging everything underneath it as well. And if you've got a circuit board, you pretty much got a dead toy. Now, there might be some collectors here on RB's Toy Box that have some secret tips or websites that you can go to that will discuss circuit board repair. If that's you, please put your information in the comments down below. We got a lot of folks here on RB's Toy Box that's doing toy repairs, and they would love to get a hold of that information. I draw a line at what I know when it comes to circuit boards. I can read a circuit board, I can solder a circuit board, but when it comes to logic of, you know, following and making a voice box work or so, totally beyond me. But when it comes to hard wiring, you know, wires, soldering, all of that, no problem. I can do that piece of cake. That's why most of the stuff that I have here, I can repair, no problem. But when it comes to a circuit board that's been damaged due to that acid leaking down beyond the battery box and liquefying down to the actual board and then damaging the board to where you can't really solder it anymore because it's not a solderable part, you pretty much have a toy that's going to look great on a shelf, but that's it. Unless I have actually gone in and bypassed some of the circuits. Matter of fact, my big B9 robot up there that you've probably seen in some of the walkthrough videos, that's exactly what happened with that poor guy. You know, none of the functionality side of the remote control side of it works anymore. The voice box, none of that worked. It was all burned out. So what I did is I just went in there and bypassed all of the lights with our new RGB or just LEDs of different colors, and then put a little controller on it, and you know, it looks fantastic on a shelf with the flashing lights and everything, but it doesn't go warning, warning, Roll Robinson or anything, that stuff like you would think that it should. So that's kind of where you got the 3 different levels of, you know, degradation, and that will determine on how much repair that you have to do to get your toy up and running. Now let's pause for just a moment to kind of talk about what an eBay seller could potentially do. Now this is the segment where it's a suggestion, okay? Just a suggestion, because there's some hardcore people out there that if you make the suggestion of, you know, you should open it up and take the batteries out, you know, it's like, ah, you know, they even say that you would do that is to destruct the integrity. I mean, come on. Do you want a functional product when you receive it? Or do you want, oops, I wish I wouldn't. And, I will totally play both sides of this for you, because there's eBay sellers out there, bless their heart, they get it in an auction sale or something. They put on there not tested or 4 parts. And I don't want to say that they're lazy. Feeling me out here? But it's one of those, take a few minutes for, some of these things that you're buying that are toys are hundreds, if not hundreds and hundreds of dollars, maybe even $1,000. And you spend that kind of money to get that new off-the-shelf scenario, and you get it and it's been destroyed by battery acid. So if an eBay seller is out there listening to me, I hope you are, because I buy a lot of your all stuff. Take a few minutes and crack that baby open. Take a picture of the inside of the battery compartment if it's never been opened before. If it has been opened before. If it's never been opened before, then here's my suggestions. Number one, if it's a box like this, where it came with batteries, then I'm okay. Again, speaking personally, okay? All of you hardcore guys out there, this is an opinion piece. Slice that baby open it up, take it out of its styrofoam, and then take the batteries out. Take a picture of the inside of it, and you know what? If it needs to have a little repair done, or you need to test it or something, go buy your some big D batteries and C batteries and have them in your testing. We would pay extra. You hearing me? And I have done so. We would pay extra if we could grab a product and open it up with a little confidence that it's been at least inspected by the person that you're buying it from. And, hey, it works, or clearly it doesn't work. I have tried to test it. I put batteries in it, nothing. Or take a nice clean picture of the inside of it. Let us see that you've taken the batteries out. Everything looks fine. You know what I mean? Just take a few extra minutes. And then on it, jack it up $10. I don't care. I mean, I would rather pay a little bit more for something you've taken a few extra minutes for and looked at and made sure that it's a good quality piece. Even if the box has never been opened before, like this, I'm okay with, taking a razor blade and open that up and having the confidence that the product that I'm going to get from you has been tested or at least examined, to where I've got a pretty decent chance that it's going to work because there's been no battery acid. Now, these is a different story. These is not good English, okay? These are a different story. In order to crack one of these babies open, you'd have to take a razor blade and cut a big window out of the bottom of it. I'll leave that up for debate in the comments below. For something like this, that is one of these that you would like to have. I actually have a couple of these that I kept this in the plastic container on purpose. But it's getting to the age and the point that I'm probably going to have to bite the bullet myself for the comfort of resale 20 years from now when I'm dead, to maybe take a very fine razor blade and open that up, peel it back, kind of open it up, look at it, make sure it's good, and then put it back in. I can still sell it as new and unused because I actually haven't taken it out and played with it, but I would have the confidence of knowing that the batteries have been removed and it's been in cold, I will call it cold storage, so that it's not being damaged based upon battery acid damage because of the age of the product. Now, these are a classic example. When I started collecting Star Trek a few years ago, these ships from Playmates from the mid-90s, early 90s, I bought a bunch of these, and I got the best deal that I could. And more than half of them, and I have 20 ships or so, over half of them were significantly damaged by battery acid. And at least one of them was damaged to the point where the guts and stuff will just never work again. I actually bypassed one of those with just some straight out LEDs. Now, what do we do about it? Okay, so you get one of these products and it is filled with acid. Like I mentioned, you know, put on your apron, put on your gloves, put on some goggles, take your screwdriver and pop them babies out into the trash can. And then you want to take white vinegar. Okay, white vinegar. If you've ever used peroxide on a sore or something and it like fizzles and is kind of cleaning as it does the same thing with white vinegar. Now you want to potentially disassemble it a little bit. Some of these products, like this one, has big holes in the side of it. So if you put too much white vinegar in there, you're literally putting white vinegar down inside the toy. So you almost want to, you know, find the screws and take it apart and then clean that a little bit separately. If it's able to be removed completely, in other words, unplug the whole battery casing and take it out and then spray it down with white vinegar and then rinse it with water, and then, you know, I usually take a little air blower like this when I get done and blow everything down so it's dried and gets all the water out before I put batteries in and try it again. So white vinegar is what I have found to be the best thing to start with. Once you are completely satisfied that you have neutralized the acid, which is what the white vinegar does, by the way, you're neutralizing the acid, then you can go through and take either like a nail file, you can take a really sharp screwdriver, and you're kind of scraping away that old junk. You can use a toothbrush or whatever if you want to, again, after the battery acid has been neutralized, and, you know, get it to the point where it's clean and you don't have to worry about that damage continuing to, you know, to build up. And then, of course, put everything back together now that you made sure everything's good to go. Try it out, and hopefully, knock on wood, it works great. If it doesn't, you know, you got to start doing some diagnosis a little bit to find out that maybe I've actually had one here not too long ago. It was my, what's it called? Bigfoot little truck that I don't know if I did a video on that one or not. Maybe I should. But when I did a complete restoration on that, the battery acid had actually gone down inside the wires. And so I had to snip those off and solder in new ones down to the motor, because it wasn't just the connections. It actually had leaked all the way down inside the wires. Matter of fact, my Ghostbusters Spangler wand, even though that's a fairly recent product, I bought one and it had the batteries already included and didn't take them out, didn't even think about it really, because I was playing with it so much. And those batteries that somebody had put in apparently was right at the end of their life cycle or something, but they also leaked to the point where it got down inside the cables. I had to gut that sucker and almost rewire it from the amount of damage that was in there. So those things in liquid form can do a lot of damage. That's why you want to catch it early. And then, like I said, for our eBay sellers out there, you know, if you take a few extra minutes to help safeguard these products, instead of just selling it and saying as is or whatever, have it a little integrity. You know, some of you guys out there are professional sellers when it comes to collectibles. You've priced them in a collectible range, right? You want top dollar for them. Take a few moments to make sure that the product that you're selling is of the best quality that you can make it. And then be honest with your buyer that I've not opened this up. It came from an estate sale. I have no intention of doing so. Guess what? Price it that way. Okay? If we're the one taking the risk, then you should price it in I'm taking the risk range, right? If you're going to take the time and open it up and at least clean out the battery compartment and you know, that kind of, let me know that. I'm willing to pay more under circumstances like that, okay? So again, tips from RB's Toy Box. Now, if you are out there in RB's Toy Box land, you probably have a technique for cleaning battery acid from toys that I might not know about. If that's you, please leave the comment down below and say, hey, what you said sounds good, but I've got a better way. And then tell us what it is. If you've made a YouTube video on that, share your link. If you have a website or something that you want to put in RB's Toy Box's comments down below that helps our followers get more information about how they can keep their toys up to date, hey, I'm not the only guy out there that's a toy collector that, you know, likes to rebuild stuff. A lot of people here on RB's Toy Box are that way, and you have knowledge in areas that maybe I haven't discovered yet. And so I want you to share that with everyone here on RB's Toy Box. So I super appreciate you following here on RB's Toy Box. I got so many things coming up here. I mentioned the F-14 Tomcat. I still got that rebuild of the Blue Thunder to do. I've got a new treat that just came in. The Batmobile from Jada. And we're going to be looking at this, and with some special pricing going on right now about this too. And then I've also done some more rearranging, and I've got a really cool one. I have a Willys Jeep that I picked up that's a remote control that is so detailed. It will blow your mind. It was so awesome. I absolutely had to have it when I saw it. I'm going to be going through all of those as well. And if you see something on RB's Toy Box through some of the walkthroughs or something in the background here, or in some of my other little rooms that I've got, hey, let me know. Say, I'd love to have a video on fill in the blank. Maybe you're thinking about collecting that. Maybe you saw a couple on eBay. Maybe I've got a model of it or something and you want some more information about it. I'll do my best to fulfill that. So I appreciate you again here on RB's Toy Box. For all of my collector friends out there, hey, I'll see you soon.
Step into the magic on my fun-filled stage. RB's Toy Box is great for kids of any age. From Star Trek to A-Team and retro toys too. Come join on my journey, making videos just for you.